said Chairman Sabonsu.
Speaker, page 6, item numbered as 98. I think I transmitted a leave of absence request, but I've been marked as absent without permission. So if we may direct the table officers to take note of that. And having said so, Mr. Speaker, even though we sat a bit late, it's past 2 o'clock, it's almost 3. I don't know whether we may want to call for an extension of the sitting period.
Yes, I may need to look at our new standing orders. A few things have been changed in the new standing orders. But I call on the table office to look at the request for permission and whether that request was approved. If so, please, you do the right thing by making sure that he's absent with permission. If not, you leave it as it is. But now our standing orders talks about us sitting for 5 hours, not the 4 hours as indicated by the earlier standing orders. And so there have been some change as to a time to announce or give notice to the House of an extension of sitting. So we may have to look at it again. Page 7. Yes, please.
You're right, Honorable Speaker. I was marked absent without permission, but I was present. Thank you.
What's your number?
Number is 138.
8. $138. Yes, you want to help her?
No, Mr. Speaker, I had a different matter that I wanted to raise, but she said 138, page 7.
Yes, 138, yes. Yes, you could now add yours.
And Mr. Speaker, again on page 7, number 134, I was in the House but marked absent, so if can be captured.
Are you sure that day you were in the House?
Mr. Speaker, yes. And I even granted an interview on that day. I came in and my members had done the press conference and left. But at least I was in the chamber, and it should reflect as such. If we are here independently representing our people, on that day, I was here, and I granted an interview after that.
Yes, table office, kindly take note of that. Page 8. Yes, sorry, page 7.
7. Mr. Speaker, number 115. I was present that day, but not absent. Thank you.
Number 115, kindly take note. Yes.
Speaker, thank you. Page 6, number 69. I was present in the chamber. Thank you.
Table office, kindly take note. Any more? Okay, we'll move to page 8. Page 9, page 8. Yes, please.
I'm grateful, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, page 8, the tradition of this House, when there has been a boycott by one side, is that the votes and proceedings capture that. But you go through the entire votes and proceedings, and Mr. Speaker, that is not reflected. Mr. Speaker, for example, if you take the Thursday, 7 November one, that is captured. That boycott or lack of attendance is stated. But in the case of the 22nd October 2024, no show by our colleagues on the other side is not captured. You only get a slight sense of that when you look at the Speaker's ruling, where the Speaker says that the House did not have the numbers to take decisions. But why didn't we have the numbers? That must be stated, because our colleagues were not in the House that day. And that has been the tradition. It is always stated in the votes and proceedings. So, Mr. Speaker, if the table office can reflect that development, because it is missing.
Yes, Honorable, is that Chairman of Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in response to my colleague's correction, I do not think that we were in the House and we walked out. That's what we call boycott. Members, it is recorded that 120 were present. This number was absent with permission, and these numbers were absent, Mr. Speaker. And I think that the records, it's captured it straight away. Nothing happened in the chamber that indicates that a group of the people had boycotted Parliament. And therefore, I think it should remain as such. Thank you.
Well, I can only direct the table office to cross-check as to what happened that day. Because on record, there is no indication of a boycott or even a walkout. But my ruling gave an indication that we do not have sufficient numbers. And definitely those of us who were present also observed a few things. She came later on and was present in the House. And so we'll have to make sure that we capture all this. But I recall talking about adjourning the House, the meeting, not suspending the meeting. So please, table office, take note of it at paragraph 3 of my ruling. Now we go to page 9. Page 10. Page 11. Page 12. Page 13. Page 14. Page 15. Page 16. Page 17. Honorable members, in the absence of any further corrections, the votes and proceedings of Tuesday, 22nd October 2024 are hereby adopted as a true record of proceedings. We now take Thursday, 7th November 2024, page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7, page 7. Yes, please.
I'm grateful, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, page 7, item number 4, your formal communication to the House, second paragraph. The two requests, the dates provided are incomplete. We only have 22nd October and 24th October, but the year is missing. So if they can add a year, this being a House of Records, I presume it's 22nd October 2024 and 24th October 2024. I'm grateful, Mr. Speaker.
Table office kindly do so. Page 8. Honorable members, the votes and proceedings of the emergency sitting dated Thursday, 7th November 2024, as corrected, are adopted as a true record of proceedings. We now move to the official reports, and I have 4 copies of different sorry, my attention has been drawn to the fact that Honorable Osei Chairman Sebonsu was on his feet. Sorry. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, not really a matter of controversy, but I thought that is for consistency. Mr. Speaker, you adjourned the sitting of 7th November 2024 on account of the prevailing situation in the House, that you took cognizance of the fact that a group of members were not present in the House. And then you proceeded to, on account of that, you proceeded to adjourn the House sine die. That was on the 7th of November 2024. The Speaker, on Tuesday, 22nd October 2024, when you adjourned the House, it was on account of prevailing circumstances. 1, and you yourself mentioned it, the prevailing circumstances. 2, the question on the composition and constitution of Parliament. And 3, having regard to public interest. These were the 3 reasons that you cited, and then you proceeded to adjourn the House. Mr. Speaker, I'm just juxtaposing the 2 circumstances. Same thing. And in that regard, what you did will not qualify for a ruling, because I've heard people refer to the fact that you made a ruling. A ruling on what? A ruling is only made when there's a matter in contention, and then you come in to give your interpretation and how the House should proceed. So what you did, captured on page 8 of the votes and proceedings of Tuesday, 22nd October 2024, which has been described as your ruling, with the greatest respect. The adjournment was on account of the prevailing circumstances, and you related to it. And as far as I'm concerned, that will not qualify for a ruling of the House. Mr. Speaker, thank you.
Yes, please.
Mr. Speaker, we are correcting votes and proceedings. There's nothing here that says that the Speaker gave a ruling. There's nothing. Mr. Speaker, page 8 says Speaker informed the House. So it was information coming from Mr. Speaker. As for what other people have said on radio, it cannot be part of our votes and proceedings.
Well, I take it that the word ruling has been used loosely because the votes and proceedings are very clear. They refer to what happened that day as formal communications. On both instances, it's captured there as formal communications. But what is generally understood by many, particularly the public, is ruling. And so we are all caught up. Even I have fallen a number of times into that trap, and I've used it a number of times. So it's not a formal ruling, but just communication to the House. And I think that the former majority leader was drawing our attention to it. But Honorable Mama Yarga is right. We are correcting the votes and proceedings of the House, and there's nothing referred there to ruling. It's just information to members. It's a formal communication. Yes, Member of Parliament for Domi Kwabinya.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, also to take you back to the vote and proceedings, which you've already cleared, but I just want to draw your attention to something on page 14 about the Committee on Employment, Labor Relations and Pensions. Honorable Comfort Doyo originally is not a member of the committee, but the matter that we were considering was bothering in her, or was happening in her constituency. And I remember that every time that we met, she made herself available. So if it can be captured as in attendance, at least it would capture the true reflection of what happened on that day. She's always been part of our meetings as the Member of Parliament in the Adan area where the electoral term issue occurred. Not as a member of the committee, but as the sitting Member of Parliament who has shown concern. Thank you.
The table office kindly take note. Anyway, let's now look at the official report, starting with the one on the 5th July 2024, which is a Friday. The proceedings of that day has been captured verbatim in the official report. Any corrections? Honorable members. Yes, please. You don't have copies?
No, right, Mr. Speaker. Yes, please. We don't have copies.
What about the 9th, 10th, and 11th July? These are all none. Then we'll have to take it another day. Please, table office, take note of that and get copies across to members. Honorable members, we move to the next item. Business statement. Chairman, Business Committee.
Right, Honorable Speaker, with respect, I shall proceed with a business statement for the week ending 20th of December 2024. Mr. Speaker, the Business Committee met and agreed on the business for the week same has been captured by a 9-page document signed by my very self and attached to this report. Mr. Speaker, per what we have, we expect to not only end on Friday, but Mr. Speaker, if you would permit, we may have to add Saturday to the sitting so that we could adjourn for the Christmas and then come back. Mr. Speaker, all these that have been proposed are conditioned on resolving some critical outstanding matters, particularly statutory payment and other matters that members expect action on. I expect the whips to take this matter up, the majority and the minority whips to take the outstanding statutory payment matters up so that it will pave the way for us to have a smooth deliberation for the week. The Speaker, the report has been circulated to all members, and I shall proceed to resume my seat and let's invite comment from members so that we bring a finality to the program for the week. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, honorable members, we take it that the business report has been presented. Any comments? Yes, Honorable Haruna Idrisu.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to make a comment on the business statement presented by the leader of government business. And Mr. Speaker, one thought that the leader would take a cue from your guidance. There are major developments in the country, and therefore, as a house, Mr. Speaker, one of the most important business this house should preoccupy itself with is the expenditure in advance of appropriation for January to May 2025. Arguably, Mr. Speaker, because the new government, which will assume the powers of government from 7th January, will have to put its act together in order to get a budget before the reconstituted parliament on midnight of 6th to 7th January. Therefore, what we are expected to do is to know, one, how the workers of this country will be taken care of in respect of compensation. Then, if there are interest payment commitments on loans in order that the country does not stand in default, that would also be addressed. So, Mr. Speaker, whilst you are giving your comments, I'm not sure the leader was listening. So that is major business. As for wanting to commit the new administration to some of the policy guidance, Mr. Speaker, we note that this government has a mandate until midnight of 6th January. But cautiously, they should be guided that they are not committing the incoming administration to some fiscal and budget constraints with some of the decisions they want to make. So he should, as you guided, Mr. Speaker, some of it that he wants to, some of the business he wants to take, even though he says that he wants understanding and consensus, he should be guided and prioritize government business. Our first major business should be the expenditure in advance of appropriation that this house must concern itself with. The other business can wait. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Blackwell.
Right, Honorable Speaker. Right, Honorable Speaker, the list of priorities for this meeting, Mr. Speaker, I want to respectfully appeal to you. As you read through your list of priorities, I was hoping to hear that we will include work on the constitutional amendment bill on the dual citizenship matter. Because, Mr. Speaker, I thought that we had come very far on that, but I didn't hear you speak to that matter, and it also doesn't find expression here in the business statement. So, Mr. Speaker, if you can probably avert your mind to that. Then, Mr. Speaker, the second issue that I want to raise relates to the tall list of tax waivers that the majority leader continues to present to this House in business statements. Mr. Speaker, we have stated our position on this matter. And considering the fact that all of these matters have been voted against and rejected by the Ghanaian people, why is the majority leader still putting it in the business statement and wanting to get us to work on these matters, which are so unpopular? A tall list, over 40 tax waivers, Mr. Speaker, and this will have serious fiscal implications for the next government. I mean, why do you want to saddle the next government with these huge revenue losses when you have been roundly rejected at the polls? And this is a government talking about coming to cut down